Hey everybody, this is Sergeant Shamar Thomas, commonly known from my One Marine vs 30 Cop video. Um, I just want to first say thank you to all the people who have seen my video and have supported me over the years. It's been really a blessing, and it really has restored my faith in humanity and the society that we live in. The world that we live in general. And I've done some interviews and different things. Over the years, but I don't really feel like I've been able to go in depth in my real thoughts and my real motivation for going against the New York City police for brutalizing protesters. Um, so basically, I'm just gonna talk about the One Marine vs 30 Cop video later on in other videos. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll see other videos that have further explanations to my life and what I've done. And if you have any more questions, this is, under this video, you can ask the questions, and hopefully in some upcoming videos I can explain it a little bit more. But basically, my name is Shamar. I'm a kid from Roosevelt, New York. I grew up, all over the United States. Always, New York is my home base. But I've traveled a little bit and, done a few different things in my life. And, it all kind of started in 1987. I was born in 1985, but in 1987 my father died and my mom joined the military, and so that forced me to be a man, so to speak. It was just me and my mom. She was a single parent, and we just started traveling, doing different things, and seeing the different parts of the United States and the world. So that's kind of how I started. At the age of 17 years old, I joined the Marine Corps. I went to Parris Island, South Carolina, in October of 2003, and I graduated in December. That next year, that next year, 2004, in August, I deployed to Iraq for Iraqi freedom. I served with a 3rd Light Armor Reconnaissance Battalion out of 29 Palms, California. And basically, when we got to Iraq, I was an assaultman. Shout out to Sergeant G. He was my assault team leader. He's a staff sergeant now, but he was my assault team leader. And our basic job was to do convoy security for the convoys, the supplied convoys that would go back and forth. We did some resupply missions to the Jordan and Syrian border. But what holds true to my One Marine vs 30 Cop video is that this town that we were in was called Roopa in Iraq, and this was like the first town that we went to. Never had been in any other kind of Iraqi towns, and it was just it was just game on for me. Like when we got there, I was like, all right, man, now it's really game time. And we went through the city and we saw the populace. And our first trip, I think it was our first or second trip, we went to the mayor's office. And at the mayor's office, we were there for a little while visiting with the new mayor. He was a new mayor that was just in place. And during that time, we were patrolling around, like, just providing security for our company commander as he was meeting with the mayor and the local officials and things like that. And I was doing a little patrol. I was like the lead man, just, walking around the buildings and the surrounding area. And then, I was walking, and I see a crowd coming, and I'm like, oh man. So when I see this crowd coming, I'm like, do you see that? And I turned to my back to see my other team leaders, my other squad members, and they're already looking like, why is he still going? So I stopped. I turned around. We regrouped by the mayor's office. Then they put me on top of the roof to provide overwatch, and a riot ensued, so to speak. The Iraqis stood across the street from the mayor's office and began to start shouting at us, throwing rocks and different things of that nature. And during this time, our orders were, if they have a gun, then we can open fire. That was the rules of engagement at the time. It was like, it doesn't matter if they're in the crowd or whatever. And so we were up there, and I'm just like, man, I know that there's going to be a gun that happens, but instead of a gun, we just got a lot of rocks. And During this time, this is our first or second time in Roopa. Our company commander, Captain Good, told us, not to respond with violence because, we're here to win the hearts and minds. I remember him saying that vividly. We're here to win the hearts and minds of the people. And if we come out and, have violence and, hurt the people on our first day, pretty much, then, who knows what we'll be subject to the rest of our tour. So we had Marines getting hit with rocks. We had a Marine get busted in the face that required stitches, this, that, and the third. So we were a little angry, and through his leadership, we didn't hurt anybody. We didn't arrest anybody, or do anything to that nature. So that was a very pivotal time in my life and understanding, because I really respected our company commander. I respected all of my leaders, but our company commander, they called him Captain America, and he was a warrior, and we knew, but it was like he had that humility. Like, if we want to survive, there's certain things that we have to do, and if it comes down to it, yeah, if it has to go down, it has to go down. But at the end of the day, we walked away from that situation, and we had a little bit of rapport with the people, and we came back to Roopa many times after that, and it wasn't the same scene. So that situation taught me a lot. And after Roopa, I went to Fallujah, Iraq, and participated in Operation Phantom Fury, also known as Alpha Jar. My assault team was entrenched on top of a hill, just 5 of us, for a little over 2 weeks, with just a box of grenades, some MREs, which are meals ready to eat, and we all had our personal weapons, and we had a 50 cal sniper rifle, and our job was to be on the Fallujah Peninsula so that we could protect convoys going back and forth from the rear to the front line. And we stayed out there 24 hours a day so that the Iraqis, or not Iraqis, but the people who were going against us couldn't put bombs down in the road, so that we could travel freely up and down the highways and things of that nature. And during that time, we took our first casualty, which was Lance Corporal Justin Daniel Rapoon. He happened to be one of my best friends in Iraq, the one guy that took his time out to make sure that I was good and make sure that everybody on his truck was good. He was just an outstanding human being. And subsequently, over my 2 tours, we lost 14 Marines in my battalion. And I would like to take the time out to say rest in peace and semper fi to all the Marines and their families who've lost lives, and all the people on both sides of the war that have lost their lives. Life is so precious to me now that I understand life differently. But we'll talk about some of that a little bit later, in some other videos. But right now, getting back to the one Marine.